Hi guys, welcome to another Movie Crew Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing Death of a Unicorn.
The movie stars Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, and Will Poulter.
So, traveling through a wilderness retreat, we find our father and daughter duo as they hit a unicorn and think they've killed it. They take it back with them, and the fun of the film ensues as this unicorn is mystical in its properties, healing, and the family want to exploit it. So, we're going to start this review off, and Moon, you're going to take us away.
Alright, so this movie had a very strange plot. Even when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks very different. Typical A24 stick, different movies. And yeah, we have unicorns here, and one of the unicorns gets killed and got healing powers. So, like I said, very strange plot, and I enjoyed this movie. It was funny. I think Will Poulter was really funny. Whenever he had like weird character, like he was a chauvinistic bit of, but he was funny. And I think the emotional aspect came from Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, so father and daughter. So their relationship, how it has like it has a character arc, like the relationship arc. And I think it was pretty well done. Now we'll talk about unicorns. So I think the design was pretty good, especially at the night time. They look pretty cool. Like I always imagined unicorns as more fluffy, but they were more scary-ish, but not that scary. Um, I do think it's whatever happens. So basically, they want those powers sort of like to heal things, and it's sort of an analogy like how humans when they find something, they want to experiment more stuff, and they want to sell those things. That's sort of an analogy what we humans actually do when we find something, and I actually really like that part of the movie. And I think there were a few really good kills, but I've always seen that coming. Like I wish there was an element of surprise there, but they were gory. I would say like pretty gory. I wasn't expecting that. The ending was, I think it was expected, like where the movie was going. I would have liked if something else happened, but overall, really enjoyed the movie. John?
Yeah, I really did enjoy this. I think it's more of a dark comedy than I would call a horror. So the aspects that I really liked was Will Poulter's performance really carried me throughout the film. It's not douchey rich kid. It's more like self-assured, and I found it really funny. Like every time he interjects, he's saying something that like I hear it and it makes sense, but it's just not right.
Yeah,
I really did enjoy that character. Richard E. Grant, another great actor. It's like Saltburn Part 2 with this guy. He's that,
yeah.
rich billionaire type. He really plays that character quite well. And Tia Leone returning to film after 14 years. I think you can't go wrong with her performance. There's that line at the start that she says, where she's talking to Paul Rudd. They're all in, pretty much the introduction when they're at the house is like a perfect summation of their characters.
Yeah,
Will Porter's coming down. He's like in a dressing gown, hugging him. And when they say, oh, there's a skeleton staff, he's like, oh, we're all doing it tough. And then she's like, oh, we're helping evacuate these refugees or vaccinate. And the face is what sells it for me. But yeah, I really did like those performances. Paul Rudd does a really good, as opposed to like he's not so much the comedy in this film, he's more the straight man. I think it's really hard to do that kind of, when you're working off these people that are doing such a comedic role. So I think it's really well done. And Jenna Ortega, interesting in the performance. I found that the emotional side of it was good from her, but maybe the character having to be the fairest woman, as she's described in the film, that bit kind of bugged me. It didn't seem like she was the fairest in terms of the way the character acted, so it kind of came out of left field, if that made sense. But the design of the unicorns is something that I thought was interesting in terms of, at the end of the film, we see what I thought a typical unicorn would look like. During, like, the unicorn that dies, it's the typical white, pure white with the purple horn, gold horn and its blood's purple, so it kind of brings that what a unicorn would be. But the parent unicorns, I'd call them, the ones that wreak all this stuff and come in and are doing all the gory killing and things like that, they're like vicious. They've got these like claws that come out of their feet. Their unicorn horns look like something from Seven, you know that scene? Like that's the kind of design they've gone for, and it's real tough, real menacing. I mean, I think the concept was good. The CGI wasn't completely there for me. It didn't have that perfect real look. Some bits you'll notice more than others, like the car accident scene at the start when the car's spinning, it looks a bit too clean, a bit too perfect and things like that. But the overall story was funny and interesting, and the way that they exploit the actual unicorn for that film, and first they try and genetically like make the stuff and they can't do it, so they pretty much just got to use the whole thing from, you know, tail to nose and sell it for the highest dollar, was something that I thought was quite funny and seemed like something if a rich person found a unicorn would pretty much do if they found it. So, and you can see they're always wanting more, because in the film, one of the plot points is that the Richard E. Grant's character's dying of cancer, and that's why he's like a recluse. He's pretty much at the end, and that's the whole antithesis for Paul Rudd's character coming, because he's going to serve as proxy for the family between the companies. And when he gets cured, instead of just being, you know, like praising it and being happy that he's alive, it's one of those things that he just pretty much, okay, this is fantastic. Now, how can we turn it into a drug, and
how can we exploit it more?
Yeah, exactly. Just exploit the whole thing. Even when they first start killing, he doesn't get the hint like that they can heal, and doesn't go, okay, they're pretty tough. They've killed all these people. Let's leave it alone. He's like, oh no, we'll make friends with them and I'll bond with them. He's just, you know, he's a strange character, but somebody that I enjoyed.
Yeah, that was fun. You know, the conversation when we're gonna sell this, but we're doing a good work to the people. They are such like rich douches, but they wanna be like, oh, we are the good guys here. We're gonna save the whole world. But we all know they're not gonna give it to anyone who's poor. That was such a good conversation. It was so funny. I think, like you said, Jenna Ortega, I think if they explain more about her, it was so, we always felt like she's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But I wish they explored more with her. But I think the whole aspect with her mother and what happened, and then what happened at the end with Paul Rudd, I think it sort of came together for me. So I enjoyed that character arc.
Yeah, it's a short film, so I don't think you can expect too much detail out of a lot of these things. But there's enough there for you to piece it all together in your head and bridge the points that are lacking. I don't think it really should have been like any more of a runtime.
No, I think this is a perfect runtime for this movie. Yeah,
it came to a good conclusion. I would have liked maybe something more in the ending side of it. The way that it ended, it felt like there was something else that was going to happen, or something. It was kind of like a Sopranos ending, like they just cut the episode mid. That's kind of what it felt like. So if you go in there and you see the last scene, you don't be surprised if it's, you know, it feels like it's unfinished, but it's not.
I actually didn't need the cop scene. Honestly, I could have done without it.
I could have just done with the cops turn up.
Yeah.
Because then I would have, instead of knowing that they were real, I could have had that thought that because the unicorns weren't there, maybe it was all in their head.
Could be.
And that would have been clever.
I actually thought for a minute when they just vanished, I was like, maybe it was in their heads, you know?
That would have been a great ending.
Yeah, that was perfect ending, but alright, you know?
Yeah. I liked, the other character was funny, was Griff. You know, the butler character. Will Porter's just like, Griff! Every 3 seconds, like, Griff, grab my printer. And, I mean, he's great. I liked him, the actor in Barry. He's pretty much like the same mannerisms, so.
I've seen him in Gotham as Victor Zsasz.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was killer there. So, this was like a different role for him. So,
Yeah, in Barry, he's like, head of a crime family,
Okay.
but he's like a bit effeminate like this character, so he's not like real tough.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of if that character was not to be like part of I think it's a Serbian mafia, what he would have done in his life, pretty much being a butler. But yeah, he was just interesting character. I think look, all the cast were great for this
No,
film.
everyone did
Yeah.
a really pretty like good job, acting wise especially. Yeah.
All right, we'll give our scores.
Yep.
Okay, Moon, how many unicorns out of 10?
I'll give it 7.5 unicorns out of 10.
I'm going to give it 8 unicorns out of 10. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow us on all our socials. Ciao.